Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is Satisfactory Early Access Update 3. And we are back in our factory, and I've made a whole bunch of changes to try and get rid of the Rube Goldberg mess that I had created. So we are in the foundry where we're making steel ingots, and over here are some of the original um, foundries that I had created. I actually had one more over here and a couple less over there. And when I tried to double it, we could fit them going all the way to this wall and all the way to that wall, pretty much. But upon doing so, it became a complete mess to try and get the um, iron ore and the coal to come in a reasonable way. So I completely rerouted this. And the problem was that I've got the coal coming in over here, the iron coming in over here, and then they were like crisscrossing because both of them have to go to each foundry. So I changed it. I now have 12 of them running, which is double what we had originally. 6 over here and 6 over here. And now I am running four banks of 3 storage containers. The 2 middle ones actually have a whole bunch of ingots in them that aren't being used right now, I think. One of these does. Oh, well, maybe not. They get sent upstairs. But the whole idea I had here was not designed to be able to scale up. So this is a bit of a mess here because you have to jump over this to get past it, which is annoying, and I want to fix that. But for right now, the idea is we're routing 2 lines, one of of iron and one of coal, to this side, and we keep the other 2 lines on this side. The coal are down at the bottom, and because that's where the holes were, and the iron holes were up a little higher, so I put them across the top. And so now we have 6 and 6, and they're running at pretty much full tilt. They're producing approximately 45 steel ingots a minute. It's not quite exactly that because of the way the splitting is working, but it's close. And so we're producing tons and tons. Now that we have the Mark III belts, we have the speed to pull everything through. And I've got it all calculated so this comes out at Mark I belt. When we merge with 2 45s to go to 90, we get a Mark II belt. And then we merge to go to like 130. We switch to a Mark III belt, which is faster than 120. And then by the time we merge up, we're going at about 240, and that's exactly what this belt can handle. If these guys are moving at full tilt, it'd be 270, and that is the max of the belt. But they're not quite able to do that because we're only getting 240 ore and coal in per minute. So each one of them's, you see they go yellow occasionally. Each one of them's working at about 90% capacity, which is fine at this point. So then we go upstairs. And I apologize for my morning voice, but it is 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. So we go upstairs. Where's the stairs to go up? Here. This isn't laid out the way the rest of the factory is, so I keep screwing it up. We come upstairs, and over here we have our constructors. And if you remember right, the last time I only had, I think, 2 of each going. We now are running them all off of 2 lines of foundries, right? And you can see the outer and the inner line are coming in here, and then these 2 are not being used. So you may think, how are we going to expand this? So my idea for this is to build this exact same thing, 6 and 4 on this side, 6 making steel beams, 4 making steel pipes. On this side, mirror it, right? And then what I'm going to do is bring 2 more belts out, and then I'm going to move this line over to here and run it out this way. And then these 2 lines will mirror them on this side, and we'll end up with 12 constructors going constantly for steel beams and 8 for steel pipes. That's if we need it. I don't know for sure if we're going to need that many. We probably will, but we have to see. I mean, like, we have never had to expand our iron production for the iron plates and the screws and the rods. We have tons of those. So, but now I'm actually ready to do this oil processing, because as I'm going to show you in a minute, we have plenty of motors already because I've been spending so much time rebuilding things. And look at this. This entire double-sized container is almost full with steel beams, encased steel beams. So we're now ready to go. And we can now up this production, right? Because we're now producing, I think, 120 steel beams per minute, so we could double this. And we got plenty of concrete, so we could actually add a second one of these and double our production. And we may need to do that at some point. But what I want to show you here is we've got all of our motors, so now we can actually get oil processing. And I thought we might go on a little jaunt and look for oil. Now that we have a map, we can see where everything is and you know, take a look at where things are and figure out. I'm pretty sure there's some oil on the coast up here, so that will be very useful to be that close to it. I also need to start making fabric, which means we're going to need to collect a lot of leaves and mycelium. So this is our motor plant that's bringing in stators and rods, and as you'll be able to see, we are almost full. We've got tons of motors. Our stators, I think, are almost full as well. Let's take a look here. Yeah, we're not full on that because I think we're using quite a lot of them to make the motors. So we're going to need to increase the amount of stators we make, so that we can increase the amount of motors we make and that kind of thing. But right now we are ready to up our tech, and so let's go ahead and do that. And one of the things I have to do soon is try to figure out where I'm going to locate everything on the assembler floor. But I kind of need to know what I have to do with the manufacturers to figure out where the assemblers have to go in order to kind of try to efficiently create this whole thing. We'll see. I don't know how efficient it's going to be possible to be. I mean, the other way to do this, instead of having a mega factory like this, is to have small factories. So you find, say, a couple of pure copper nodes, and you just run them from copper to wire to cable, and that's your cable factory, and then you ship cable all over the planet, wherever you need it. And then you could have another copper plant that's just making the copper sheets, and then you ship copper sheets wherever you need it, and so on. So you could do it that way too, and that is a possibility. But I think it's easier to do that when you have trains, which we don't have yet. However, we now have all of these nice things. And away we go. And it's still not... Oh, now it's launching, finally.
Milestone reached. Oil acquisition and refining unlocked.
Because it wasn't launching before.
Oil-based products can now be made. The byproducts of oil refinement can be used after further processing, as seen in the refinery.
No.
Caution. This is a reminder to minimize the chance of expiration during out-of-base activities.
Notice the pod will return in 12 minutes now, 11 and a half. So it used to be you'd send it the pod to come back in 2 minutes. Now it takes a long time. Let's take a look at what our next milestone is going to be. We're going to need plastics for gas masks. We're going to need plastics for this thing. I guess we need to do manufacturing so we can get the manufacturer. We're going to need to make plastics, and we're going to need 100 motors. Is no big deal. And we also need to make other things. So let's take a look at our building. We can now make oil extractors, which are going to need cables, motors, and industrial encased beams. And oil refineries. We can make both of those with no problem. Power. We don't have an oil power plant yet. I guess that's in the next thing. We don't have any new logistics. Don't have any new organization. Don't have any new this, or this, or this. So mostly what we got is the new oil refinery and oil extractor. So, let's build some beacons, and let's head out to see the world. And by the way, nobody has commented on what color they want the factory, so if you guys don't comment, I'm going to make it dark red, because I like that color the best. So again, your choices are light blue, dark red, dark green. So make up my mind, guys, or I'll make it up for you. Okay, so let's head downstairs. There is a workshop down here. And to make we're gonna make just a bunch of beacons so that we can lay them down. And the other thing I want to look at is what it's going to take to make an explorer, because we might want to just take one of those out. So let's see, we have concrete, so we can build our way out of trouble. We have metal, we can build our way out of trouble. I don't know that we need the reinforced plates, so let's ditch those. I want to leave our inventory open so we can collect as much as possible. We're going to want to use the chainsaw. We've got our health thing, we've got our machine gun, we have enough bullets. I guess we can grab a few more. And the rods are over here, and then we'll check the MAM and see what we need to get the Explorer vehicle. My guess is it's not going to be something we can do right away, but it might be. Might be able to make some crystal oscillators. Okay, let's take some more bullets, or whatever you want to call them. And then we're going to head downstairs. To the MAM. As you can see, I think this is starting to look kind of nice in here. This floor is a lot more empty than I thought it was going to be. This is just the storage for the raw materials. I feel like this isn't the most efficient factory design because there's tons of room on this floor and there's hardly any room on the constructor floor. So I may want to rethink this whole factory and maybe not even finish it and try to do a different design, which is what happens to me a lot. I end up going, oh, this design didn't work the way I wanted it to, and now I've got to make a new design, and then a lot of times I just start over. I don't want to do that, though. I mean, we've gone pretty far, and I don't want to start over, but it might be worth considering the possibility of moving the factory or doing something different with it. Alright, so we need 100 modular frames and 10 crystal oscillators. Alright, what do we got over here? We've got one crystal oscillator. We have heavy modular frames, but not regular modular frames. We have those upstairs. And then we've got a bunch of crystals. So I'm going to make that stuff, and let's go ahead and at least start the Explorer research. I will be right back once we've got that started. Alright guys, we are back. And I screwed up. I gotta make the crystal oscillators first. Sorry about that. So that we do over here at the crafting station. Right there. I'm just gonna make 10 of them. And so this takes a while because they really want you to use a manufacturer and not make these by hand. And I do want to try to get a manufacturer going, but we don't have the ability to even create manufacturers yet because we got to make plastic, and to make plastic we've got to find oil. To find oil we need the exploration. So we now have all the crystal oscillators we need, and we can research in the MAM. After we get done freezing from the autosave, we can research, and that will take 5 minutes, and we're going to let that just cook. And while we do that, we are going to go exploring. So let's see, where have we not been and where should we go? Let's see, I think what I want to do is kind of go off in sort of this direction, like this way, because that's where there's a lot more biomass, and we want to try to mow down as much biomass as possible because we want to collect leaves and mycelium so that we can start making a lot more fabric, or start making fabric because we haven't made any yet. So let's see here, we can go that way right from our factory and just start exploring. So let me see here, there is a bridge up. I went up one level too many. bridge must be over here somewhere. Here we go. And now we are in with lots of flora. Right? We can start collecting leaves and we can mow it all down. And there we go. I hear somebody. And there he is. Well, you got stuck on the terrain, it looks like. Organs can also be used to create fabric. And we got some mycelia as well, so that's good. So I thought it'd be more interesting to you guys for me to explore, and you can kind of see what's around the world and that sort of thing, rather than watching me spending a lot of time trying to organize the factory. But feel free to leave comments what you'd rather see. If you want to see me going through all the frustrations of trying to organize and build, I certainly can do that with you. And one of the things I deliberately do is I try to, let's see, I wasn't able to do it here. I try to get plants near rocks so I can make the rocks go away. Because if you use the... Did I just delete the mycelium? I did. I meant to delete the lithium, the limestone. You can use the fact that you're cutting down trees to make small rocks disappear. I mean, not big ones like that, but small ones. Okay, we got some bad guys there protecting the slug. Got him. I can jump over you a lot more easily now with these blade runners. Let's see, can I even maybe get up to him without having to build? No, too high. So let's go ahead and cut down. It'd be kind of cool if you could climb trees in this game, but I can imagine why they can't let you do it. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get onto our default here. I'll just do my regular type of build up. Oops. Snap to the wrong orientation. Sort of my regular default, and there we go. We're just trying to collect the power slug. And there we are. We can just delete that. And back to collecting leaves. So now one of the things I got to do is figure out where I'm going to make the fabric constructor, and I'm not sure about that. The problem with that is that the constructor floor is starting to get really crowded, and we haven't even set up everything we need to construct. So I don't know if I need to expand that out wider, like wider than the rest of the footprint of the building, or maybe just build another small factory that's designed to make things that are just sort of one-off endpoints, you know, like they're just making fabric or whatever, so that if they don't like making, say, the spiked rebar, right? It doesn't go into anything, right? It's just a weapon. So it might be that I might want to, I don't know, build a small factory that just does that. Build a small factory that just does fabric, that kind of thing. And we've come all the way around the factory over here. That is our iron, and it's just sitting there doing nothing because we're not using it much. Because we have so much metal. now we can see on our map, where have we come? We've come from there to here. I think we want to kind of go more south. And that'll get us into some more greenery. As you can see, we are filling up the old inventory, but we do not need limestone. Everything else we can keep. This is getting us leaves, but we're going to need to get mycelium as well. And to do that, we're going to need to go back to our old base in the desert. We've already taken care of this pod. I'm surprised there isn't a pig beast over here. I still love just picking up leaves. It's so awesome. I don't know what it is about it that's just very enjoyable. And there is another slug, and I know there's going to be a bad guy protecting a slug. And I heard him. I don't know where he is. Ah, there's a bunch of them. This is going to be difficult, because there were 3 of them. Alright, we killed one. And I've hit one of the other ones before. That one, good. That was luck. I didn't know which one it was. Stop juking around. Missed him. Yeah, the problem with the leaves is when it becomes possible to pick them up, it changes the targeting reticle to this pickup reticle, and it's really hard to see what you're doing. And now I fell down, so that's not good. See if we can get back up. I can't see anything because it's dark, and I appear to be stuck. So let's see if we can cut our way out of this. There we go. Now I don't remember where the slug was, of course. There he is. And that's a yellow power slug, so that's good. We are out of inventory space, guys. That fast. That is pretty awesome. So we got lots of leaves. I will head back to the base, and I'm going to get us back out to the desert, and then we will try to get some mycelium. I will be right back. So we are back at the base, and we now have the Explorer research finished, which is awesome. Just looking at what we need for these other things. Okay, quite a bit. So let's take a look at creating the Explorer. So we need heavy modular frames, motors, crystal oscillators, and beacons, and we actually have all of that. Except the crystal oscillators, and I've got enough quartz to go ahead and whip some up. We only need 5. I think I have 1 already over here, don't I? Yeah, I've got 1, so we just have to make 4. And I believe I have enough crystal in here to do that. Yep, we got 59. I think we're gonna need 40. No, we need a little bit more. But that's okay because it's right upstairs. And what we're going to do is see if we can, and we're going to get the motors anyway. So we're going to see if we can go ahead and make an Explorer, and then I can show you guys how that works. It's a lot like a truck, but it's designed for exploration, so it's a little faster, and it can like climb up and down things, which is pretty cool. So let me head upstairs and get the motors, and we will build our our explorer. All right, guys, we're back on the main floor, and now we are going to create an explorer, and there it is. So let's grab some fuel from our truck. You can see this is like a Mars Explorer type deal, right? It's pretty cool. And now we can take it out. And if you remember, the truck goes around 50 kilometers an hour. You can see this one goes about 60% faster. It's a lot easier to go the wrong way with this thing and crash. That's why I'm glad I built walls here, so that if I overshoot, I just slam into the wall. And this will take us back to the base, and we will start trying to get some mycelium to help us make fabric. And then I got to figure out, no, it's not getting us back to the base, it's getting us back to the old base, right? Then I got to figure out what I want to do with the construction of the fabric and where I want to put it. I'm not sure about that yet. I'll think about that in between episodes. This is definitely a lot more convenient. Obviously, what we're going to really want here, along the side, maybe underneath the belts, or maybe not along the side because we want to be able to walk out. So maybe down the middle, I don't know. We're going to put some hypertubes. So maybe we will use this one foundation as the path for the vehicle, and then this foundation over here will be where the hypertubes go. Not sure yet. We could also put the hypertubes up, sort of up above the bridge, you know, like on the roof of the bridge. That's a possibility as well. And of course we have a roof already put in over here, so you can see what it looks like finished, which is pretty cool. Alright, I'm not going to try to navigate that thing down here because what I want to do is just collect mycelium and then we'll come back. And it's easier to just walk down. And not like that, but okay. Alright, so what we want to do is wander around and get mycelium. And it's things like this that get it for you. Right? So we got some mycelia there. And there is a lot more as you go towards like the water of this. So if we look on the map, we're here, but if we go out toward the water to the west, I think we'll find a lot more mycelia. So let's head out west, and we'll keep looking. So this is the old base. This is the old constructors for the biofuel. We don't really need to do that anymore. We still got a whole bunch of biofuel that we're not using, and we got a whole bunch of this other stuff here that we're not using. No, can you cut these things down? No, I don't think so. Well, there's a slug, which means there's going to be danger over here. Somewhere over here, I'm pretty sure there was mycelia. Oh, look, we've got copper. So let's go ahead and use one of our remaining beacons to note that. This is normal copper. I could have sworn there was more like sort of mycelia fungi stuff over here. Here's a lizard doggo. Better keep the gun out because I haven't been over here much. And I hear a spitter. You can hear him spitting down there, and it's a big one too. I thought there was mycelium over here, maybe over there. I have to keep looking, guys, and in next episode, I guess, after I find it, I'll show you where it was. I don't really want to get into a fight with this guy. Let's keep looking a little bit longer. Oh, well, I didn't mean to come down here, but alright. Let's just keep looking a little bit longer and see what we get. Got some more healing if we need it. Yes, I guess if we head along north, maybe? I could have sworn this area had some mycelia. Ah, right here. Here we go. This is what we want. Right, that gives you mycelia. I thought there were a lot more of them here. Ah. Yeah, yeah. This is what we want. Right, so there we go. 68 mycelia right there. So these big ones tend to yield quite a bit. Right, there's another 42. There we go. So now we're getting some mycelia. This is what we want. So I was right. I just not quite exactly the right area. It was sort of, if you look at the map, I was thinking it was down here, and it's just up here. I thought there was rather more of it than that, though. Ah, there's a bunch. So you gotta watch out on this flat area. I know there are some bad guys. Some pig beasts and some spitters, and I think the big ones, like the alphas. So just gonna be careful, but we want to pick up a bunch of mycelia. There we go. So we don't need any of the limestone. But you can see we've got a couple hundred mycelia there, so that's good. We got silica too, which I'm not sure what we use that for. I'm sure there are pig beasts around. There's a... Yeah. Oh, mega spitters. Let's just stay away from them. I'm not interested in picking up Mercer spheres and stuff right now. What I want to get is mycelia. You can also find a lot of that in caves, which we have not gone into yet. Those are much more dangerous. There's a lot of nasties in caves. Oh, got some spitters. If that's a regular size one, I can deal with him. Yeah, that looks like a regular one. Yeah, 3 hits takes them out. It's the big ones that are horrible because they do a lot more damage to you, and it takes like 7 hits or something to take them out. This is what we're looking for, guys. This is what I want. All this mycelium. Very nice. Yep, we have like 300 of it now. I mean, that's not a lot. I would rather have more. We're getting a lot more limestone than we are like mycelium, unfortunately. So realistically, I'm going to have to try exploring some caves, and there are some other areas where there are a lot more mycelium. In fact, up on the plateau where our power plant is, there's some mycelium there as well, and we can't go any further because there's poison over there. Alright guys, I'm going to head back, I think. You see there's more mycelium up there. I wish you could harvest these barnacles for something. Oh, and there is limestone. Pure as well. Well, let's go ahead and mark that. Li plus. Alright guys, I think we've done enough for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to keep farming some mycelium and that kind of thing, and I will be back with another episode in the near future. Until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this is Satisfactory Early Access Update 3.